Hey everyone, Chris Lewis from Fox 47's Digital Newsroom. Really excited to be able to be here today at the Delhi Township Fire Department. We are here giving you a behind-the-scenes look at first responders. This is all in anticipation of our spring premiere of 911 that's coming up on March 18th at 9 p.m. So today, this is brought to you by our friends at Holt and Dimondale Insurance Agency. Make sure to call your hometown team today. So we're going to flip this over to some of our first responders so that you can meet them and be able to get a better picture of what they do on a daily basis.
Thank you. Hi everybody, my name is Jeff Young. I've been here at Delhi Fire for 15 years. I'm a firefighter, paramedic, and I was one of the first people hired when Delhi went full-time from being a paid-on-call and volunteer department to a full-time department. And I'll pass you along to one of my coworkers.
Hi, Lieutenant Chris Baldwin. I've actually been with the Delhi Township Fire Department since 1993 as a paid-on-call firefighter, and became one of the full-time members in 2006. Enjoy working here in this hometown, and tell you a little bit about what we're doing here today.
So talk to us a little bit about the daily life, because I know that you have long shifts, 24-hour shifts. I know that that's the case. But how does that all play together in creating a team and being able to work together? And then also, on a daily basis, what are you doing if you're not on calls?
Sure, I'll talk about the daily stuff. Typically, our shifts, every time our shifts start at 7 a.m. The first thing we do is generally check the apparatus. So that means going through the ambulances, going through the trucks, checking the air packs. Specifically the ambulances, they get used much more than anything else here. And even though we replace stuff as we use it on the call the day before, it's an important thing to make sure everything is there and ready. So usually we have a crew that starts on the ambulance. Our engineer for the day would start on the trucks, checking them out, checking the lights, the sirens, things like that. Not every piece gets touched, every piece of equipment gets touched and handled, but the important things on the big apparatus. Then we have a lot of stuff to do around here when we're not answering calls. Maintenance on the vehicles, maintenance on other equipment, keeping things clean, frankly. We do a lot out in the public. We do Meals on Wheels every Friday, where we deliver to the senior citizens apartment complex. Food bank, holiday stuff with the food bank on stuffing bags for needy families. So there's a lot to do daily basis when we don't have calls, which we don't have calls all day long every day. So and we're out in the community when we can be and doing things like this. I'll let Chris talk a little more about some of the daily stuff.
Like Jeff said, we're here from 7 a.m. to 7 a.m., 24 hours a day. So we're kind of like a real tight-knit, close family. We do a lot of things together. We work out, we eat. We're with these guys probably a third of our lives. So we become pretty close. But like he said, we do a lot of our checks for the day. We're going to go over here and see engineer Justin Burns. He's checking out one of our apparatus right now. And showing you kind of some of the equipment that we check out to make sure that it's ready to go. And so Justin would start out his morning kind of up in the front of the cab, and he works his way back and around the truck, and then he gets the other truck out and does that one as well. Why don't you explain a little bit about what you're doing here, Justin?
So as they were saying before, we have to check and make sure that everything kind of runs and works so that we're ready to go for the next call that comes in. So they explain to you that the lights, the sirens, typically we don't check the sirens in the morning because we don't want to wake anybody up. But we go through, and the first thing that I always check is the air packs. We want to make sure that those are good to go, that they're full, that they're tight, and that our guys won't run into any issues if we get a fire. From then, I just go through the equipment. We have air monitoring equipment that we, if we have odor investigations, somebody says they smell gas, we go and we investigate and we see if our monitors are reading anything on those.
Why don't you show us a little bit of our extrication equipment? And what we use those for, 'cause people that are watching the 911 will see them use the jaws of life and extrication type tools. So we'll walk around here to the back and show you a little bit of those tools. And kind of explain to us, Justin, what they are and what we use them for, okay?
All right, so right here, this is going to be our cutters and spreaders. We have a combination as well, which is both of them. But if we get an entrapment where somebody's trapped in their vehicle after an accident, and we can't get them out, we would use these to cut the car, starting with popping the door. If we can't pop the door, then we would take basically the car away from the patient is what extrication is.
So, and like I said, you know, a lot of people, we call them cutters, we call them spreaders, but everybody else would hear them known as the jaws of life. So this is basically our equipment that we use on car accidents and everything like that. I'm going to pass it back over to Captain Young. He's going to talk a little bit about the ambulance and some of the equipment that we have in there.
Yeah, we'll go look in the back of our ambulance here. We have one of our firefighters checking the equipment out. And I mentioned before, this is, 80 to 90% of our calls. So this gets used a lot. Equipment gets taken off, used on the patient. It needs to be restocked. So he's in our red bag there. That's that would come in with our cot. That's got a little bit of everything we might need on a typical call. To his right is a monitor, very important piece of equipment. It certainly monitors the heart. It does a lot more than that. These machines are very expensive. They check blood pressure, oxygenation in the blood. We can do 12-lead EKGs from them and send them over to the hospital ahead of us. So that's one important piece and one that we want to have ready to go when we need it. So we've had a lot of people ask about some of the training for paramedic. For paramedic, which we're all the full-time members are paramedic firefighters. Paramedic is typically a year and a half. It depends which program you go to. And you also have an internship where even after you're done with your class and you've taken all your tests, you have to go and ride at a fire department and get kind of real-life experience there. So I'd say a year and a half. And for firefighters, that's probably about 8 months, 9 months of training. For Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2, that's what you would need to become a firefighter on that side of things. And that's often offered at fire departments in the area and sponsored by your fire department that you come from.
Now, for all of the different checks that they're making on a daily basis, for someone that's brand new, that's first time in their ride along, if they're trying to help with that, is there a checklist that they have to follow, kind of procedures that they have to follow?
Sure, there is. We've gone from paper to an iPad, and yes, it has a list of all items that should be on this ambulance. We do have 3 ambulances here. They are, identical, so you should be able to take, that iPad to any of them, and you should have all the same equipment on each ambulance. So that's what we've graduated to, and that way it's time-stamped, dated, things like that, electronically.
Again, like Justin was saying earlier, I was going to take you up and show you one of our air packs. It's an SCBA. We wear that into a dangerous area, smoky conditions, toxic environment. Allows us to breathe fresh air while we're inside of the building, or even in the atmosphere around outside. If there's something on there that we need to, we'll have fresh air and everything like that. So we check that out every morning, like Justin said, and we make sure that all the straps are fully extended, everything is connected properly, and that it has enough air in it for what we use on a daily basis. So I can kind of show you a little bit about that.
Chris, as we're walking,
Yes, sir.
how many full-time, how many part-time employees do you have here?
We have 18 full-time employees. That includes the fire chief, the assistant chief, secretary. We have 7 part-time employees, and I believe about 7 or 8 paid on-call personnel. Difference between a part-time person and a paid on-call person: a part-time person will actually come in and pick up shifts with the on duty, where the paid on-call, when there is a fire call or a call, their pagers will go off and they'll respond up to the station and respond from there. So this, again, with the trucks that we're looking at right here, this is our squad. It is primarily our first attack for fires and also for extrication and everything like that. And then the one over here is our ladder truck. We just call it a truck. And it's got a 75-foot aerial on top of it. It'll probably be easier to go through this one since there's more room on the pack here. So basically, first thing in the morning, we come up, and this is my seat for the day, so I will make sure that all of my straps are actually pulled out and extended, and then I look to make sure that I have enough air in the bottle, and then I'll air it up. Makes a little noise, lets me know that all of my alarms are working. Then I check my gauges to make sure everything is proper. And then my lights on my regulator are also working. We have a face shield or a face mask that we wear. Our regulator will hook into that, and we just check those out, make sure that everything is working properly. And then we just adjust our alarms for our low pressure. And it'll kind of go off when it runs down a little bit, but we just got to make sure everything. And that sound right there is something that no firefighter ever wants to hear. It means that you're basically stopped moving, and it allows a high-pitched squeal so other firefighters can find that downed firefighter. One of the other thing we check out in the morning, this is one of our thermal imaging cameras. And this allows us to go into an atmosphere, say there was smoke or just a low visibility, and it allows us to pick up heat senses from people. And I don't know if you can see or if it will show, but I can kind of show firefighter Burns here and what the thermal imaging. So if I take it away, you see what he looks like, and I bring it back up, and it brings up his heat senses. So it allows us to find a victim inside of a smoky residence, or allows us to find fire if it's hidden inside of a wall. So we're not tearing apart a house just to tear apart a house. We know right where we want to be looking, so we can open up walls to find the fire inside of a wall and everything. So, so I guess next we're going to take you downstairs to our living quarters. Oh, I'm sorry, I just was told, sorry. We're going to go up into the office, and Captain Young's going to show you a little bit about what he does in pre-plans.
Right, so some of the things we do are pre-plans and plan review. A pre-plan would be a new or existing building. We want to go out and see, can our fire hose from our truck reach around the back of this particular apartment complex, as an example. And so we call that a pre-plan. So if there's something slightly different about this building versus a regular building, we're able to make that difference. So what I'll show you now, though, is a plan review. And we have a new building that's going to be coming soon, so we get the plans. And as on the fire side of things, what we have here is the orange would be locations of strobes for the fire alarm system inside. And there are calculations made on how many strobes you would need, where they should be located. There's often stuff with water and where the service comes in and where the fire department connection is. And these are all things that have to be submitted to us for approval that they've done their job and they're putting the safety items where they're supposed to be. And on this table over here, to my left, this is another plan, and this would have things like entrances and paths around a building. We have to have room to bring our apparatus in all the way around the building to be able to reach where we need to get. So there are clearances. It shows you where the water comes in. So this would be the opposite side of Cedar. It comes underneath and comes out. They're going to have the service come in here. So these are pre-plans, so we can look at and see beforehand that we can make it around this building if we needed to with an apparatus.
So with these plans, are these plans kept on site so that if you do have to respond to something at those, or is this just when they're being built?
Right. We would keep this for reference in the future. If they make a change to the building 5 years down the road, or they're going to add parking or different arrangement, they have to submit a new set that we would have to approve at that point. It could be just adding addition to the building. They may have to, they do have to submit a new set of plans for approval, so they're meeting the fire code. Next, we'll head downstairs. That's where we call them our living quarters, sleeping quarters, workout room, day room, things like that. And I'll let Chris take you on.
Everybody, why don't we turn around and say hi? This is Assistant Chief Brad Drury, the Recruitment, Retention, Emergency Manager Rebecca Elliott. They have a hard job up here, keeping track of all of us. So a lot of people think fire stations and how they're, everything's upstairs. People always ask us, where's the fire pole in the station? Well, unfortunately, our station, we have a basement. So it's kind of hard to slide up. So we have stairs that we run up to when we go on calls. I'm going to turn around so I don't fall. So coming down into, this is our crew quarters. We'll go in here to the training room. In here we do several trainings. We have any kind of training. For today we had our new employee doing some video training, learning on how to use the equipment by watching some videos. We also have a mannequin head that we're doing some airway training on with him. Excuse me. We also have, notice there's several computers over there. We do a thing called blue card training. It's a training that was brought to from the Phoenix area, and our fire chief Brian Ball is an instructor along with a couple of the other guys here in the department. And basically it's scenario based. We'll all sit and take different roles at the computers, being either on an engine or a ladder, and we have a video that kind of shows what's going on, and we have to react by what the video is showing and what we would do once we got on scene. And but we use this for EMS training, fire training. We hold classes from out of the area here. Just do training pretty much every day. We do some type of training, whether it's classroom training or going outside, weather related, and pulling hose or pumping fire trucks or cutting cars apart. But a lot of it is down here in the classroom, learning how to do those things. So, all right. So from the training room, take you over, and like I said, we live here at the fire station. We come in at 7 a.m. We get out at 7 a.m. So we have our meals here. We sleep here, and we relax. We watch TV. Watch 911 on Fox 47. We'll take you into our crew quarters. This is our crew quarters, kitchen, dining room. Nothing special. We cook all of our meals here. We eat pretty much as a shift together. You can see the chairs over there. That's probably some of the guys, that's the best part of the day when you get a chance to go relax when they're not doing calls. Do a lot of bonding at the table as well. Playing euchre, just kind of talking, and we actually do a lot of pre-planning and talking about what we're going to do for the day, first thing in the morning and everything like that. One of the big things we get to do during the day here, and we're pretty happy about it, is we do have a workout facility here at the fire department, and we're going to go in there. We're not going to kind of take you into our bedrooms or anything like that, because there are some personal items in there, and it's just a bedroom just like you would have at home. So going through here, share this hallway, with the library and the rest of the township. But then in here, this is our workout facility. As you see, we have several different weight equipment, dumbbells, stationary bikes, and treadmills. We come in here and spend at least an hour a day. A lot of the guys might spend a little bit more, but it's a pretty decent equipment, what we do.
Okay, some of the other things, I guess, that we are instead of just a paramedic and a firefighter. Many of us have additional training in hazardous materials. We have, I believe, 3 or 4 technicians in the full-time ranks. And that's just, you get hazardous material training as part of your fire training, but a technician is a higher level and able, I guess, to do more on a scene. We have several members of the fire department that are fire investigator certified. So we will investigate our own fires. Years past, we would have someone come help us. We've been able to train enough people up to do most of our own now, unless we're on other calls or we get other calls shortly after the fire. We might have to have someone help us. Several of us are fire inspectors, which is different than the investigator. Inspector is for a business, a new business or existing. Yearly inspections, as I showed you above, or upstairs, the buildings coming in and getting built, they all need to be inspected. Plan review, there's 2 of us certified in plan review, and that's reviewing the new plan, so that goes hand in hand with being a fire inspector. I'd say about half the guys on duty are confined space certified. So there are certain requirements, and if you're not certified in them, you can't go in the small hole or tunnel to rescue someone. You have to be certified. We do have a large metro area team, but that means our guys are on it. We have some rope rescue training also, so there's a lot more that goes into just working at the fire department. We try and train some of our guys to be certified in one area, a couple guys to be fire investigators, so that way we kind of cover all our bases. It is a little hard to maintain all of those things. That's part of the reason we don't train everyone to every single facet. We have 3 or 4 doing this, 3 or 4 that are certified in that, so that can kind of cover our bases.
One of the best things I could say that people just kind of pay attention when they're driving. If you see an emergency vehicle with their lights and sirens on, pull to the right side of the road. If you see them out on the highway, give them the right of way. Give them the lane, slow down, move over. Just try not to have it, any kind of an accident out there. Pay attention, take CPR classes in the community. We offer them here at Delhi Township. Come on up, schedule something. We'd be more than happy to get with you, one of your groups.